me say a wonderful good morning to our listeners. Good morning to our viewers. Welcome to the Mid-Morning Buzz. A bit of an early segment this morning. I got some special guests in studio with me this morning. Let me say good morning to those of you who are viewing, those of you who are listening, especially via social media platforms, be it on the Facebook page, YouTube channels. Good morning. Welcome to the Mid-Morning Buzz. I'm your host, GT. And with me this morning, I have some folks representing, of course, the National Council of the Disabled. Part of it, all part of inclusive of, Advocacy Grenada. Mm-hmm. All right, so is it Advocacy Inc.? Advocacy Grenada.
Advocacy Grenada Inc.
Advocacy Grenada Inc. Thank you so much. So let me say good morning to her because she has already spoken out as loud as she can. Let's say good morning to Zinzee. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
They say ladies first, right? So yeah. So we had a tripper in first.
But that's not fair. I'm the only lady here.
Yeah, but you're first. You're first. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good.
All right. And we have Jason with us also. Jason, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
It's a pleasure to have both of you in studio this morning. You folks are the guests that we may not have on a regular in studio. But it's always a pleasure to have individuals, of course, popping in and talking this morning. Our conversation this morning is based on, of course, we did mention you being part of the, Grenada, Advocacy Grenada. Advocacy Inc. Grenada. Talk to me about that. The purpose of that, the existence of that particular institution. Talk to me about that before we get into anything else. Talk to me about it. I know Zinzee, you play a major role in that also, so you will be able to speak in detail more in relation to that.
Well, I am the director and PRO of Advocacy Grenada Inc. Yeah. And basically, Advocacy Grenada Inc. is an organization that is established to advocate for persons with disabilities, whether it be it for social inclusion, policy, housing, wherever the need may be, we are here to lend our voice and support in that area.
All right, and that's it in a nutshell. Jason, you part of that also. Talk to me about you. Tell me something about yourself first, sir.
Well, about myself, I'm Jason Campbell. I'm a self-taught artist and illustrator. And what else? I did 3 books of my own for myself. And I also did illustration for, Pure Grenada as well.
Okay.
And at the moment, I'm doing some stuff with a non-profitable organization that is called Grenada School Inc.
Grenada School Inc.
Yeah. All right. And that's me.
All right. As folks who are listening and those who are viewing right over your television, you both have a disability, but it hasn't in any way stopped you from surviving in the modern world that we are in today, the challenges that it comes around with. How is it for you, the challenges that the world brings, in a nutshell? How is it for you both? I know who's going to take the mental of starting that conversation on this one.
Well, I'll go.
Yeah, let's go.
For me, I can give you a bunch of examples. At starting up, it was extremely difficult. And I got a lot of remarks from people that is, the kind of remarks that would really have you down there, not build you up at all. And as I said, it was really difficult at first. And then, through the years, you meet people that will encourage you to do, to move on, to move forward, it will help to build you up, actually, in a sense. And in doing that, you tend to become stronger mentally as well, especially the mental part of it. Yeah. You become even stronger.
Make you look beyond
That's right. That's right.
Look beyond that.
That's right. So when you meet people like they don't see the wheelchair.
Okay.
And that is a plus.
If I had to ask this, your disability, is it something from birth or something that came about after?
It came about after. Yeah.
Are you care to speak about it briefly?
Yeah, sure. At that tender age, I was like, probably 12, going on 13.
Yeah.
Boys will be boys. So I went in the river, diving around the place, swimming, diving. Not too much a country boy.
All right.
Not too much. Back then, I used to live at Lamode. Yeah, that's in St. George's.
Okay.
And they can dive around that area there, and happens so that I slip while trying to take a dive. A dive that I custom doing.
Okay.
In the shallows and then into the deep. And River Stone, when you hear the wet, it's very slippery.
I'm from River Road, so I know.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So I tried taking a dive and I slipped. And in falling, I tried just continue to dive. Miss Average went in too deep, and that's it.
Oh boy.
That's it.
All right.
But it's a journey, and I can say I'm out of that journey already. Yeah, I'm not in the deep anymore.
How have this particular disability that came about on you made you a stronger person, per se?
Well, I don't know. The person who I was before the disability, before the incident, I may not be that kind of nice person, so to speak. But I can tell you I've gained a lot of patience, and I tend to understand a lot different than back then as well. So it makes me stronger in the sense that I learn to accept the things that I cannot fix, and even the things that I can fix. So I learn to accept all of that. I don't make a fuss over every and anything.
All right. No, there's lots more you would like to see as someone with a disability, especially in the society that we live in, Grenada. What are those things you would like to would like to see be more available to you as individuals of your time?
Nice. There's a few things that I can speak of, right? But that is just for me.
Yes.
But it's not just for me, for everybody.
But it's in general.
In general.
Also disability.
Correct.
It's like a part of the world today.
Correct. I can give you two instances that what happened to me one time. Well, I can give you several actually. The one time I went to see a doctor, and it steps. That's a killer for every single one of us.
So we're talking accessibility.
Accessibility right there.
Yeah.
That is a killer. And some people will look at us like, okay, what are you doing here? I remember one time I went to one of a supermarket, well, a gas station actually, there's a supermarket there. And when I went in there, the wheel just barely knocked the shelf that has toiletries, like tissues and stuff like that. And the way that security guard went on, and he was going on, and I accepted. I said sorry, and I keep moving. But he wasn't satisfied. He followed me where I went and start again. I just simply leave, and then I went out. I just leave it like that. So the way people, the attitude towards us in wheelchair is, trust me, it's not nice.
So would you like to see, from a governmental point of view, making accessibility more, legislation that would make sure that whenever buildings are being constructed and so forth, that make sure there's more accessibility for individuals with wheelchairs and so forth. Zinzee, talk to me. Your take on the way society treats individual with disability. What's your take on that? What change would you like to see come about? Because you may say for your lifetime, and I should get it, of course, and I'm assuming from your state is a situation from birth.
Yes.
It's a situation from birth, so there's not much we could cover on that anymore. It sort of speaks for itself. Tell me, how would you like to see society treat individuals, especially with disability, of your nature, wheelchair bound and so forth? How would you like to see society teach it, and especially in a Grenadian way of life?
I wish they would treat us like they would treat any normal person.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we are human beings. We are individuals with capabilities just the same. And I think persons need to move beyond seeing the device that we use, but the individual itself. And you were talking about policy. There are policies in place in terms of buildings, but what happens is that persons would draw up their building plan with the accessibility included, and then when they build,
They not included.
They don't include it, and there is nobody following up. So I think in terms of implementation, there needs to be a follow-up process where maybe the government or...
Well, how does that make you feel, per se, as individuals yourselves? How does that make you feel? Does it make you feel left out, not cared about?
Yes, it does. It makes me feel like I'm not important. or not important enough to, go back and check to see if everything is, all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. So there is a huge problem in, there is one thing to have legislation, but it's the next thing to implement it.
Yes.
It's two different processes, and I think there needs to be things in place for both processes.
What in terms of the policies that you speak that are out there, and the implementing those policies, and you said sometimes folks especially seem to don't care about that. I mean, I have heard lots of individuals, especially folks with disabilities, speaks about it's like they forgotten what. For some reason or the other, you folks feel that forgotten, and I mean, and your presence today is to create that awareness.
That's right.
That awareness that folks know that you are somebody. Despite your disability, you are somebody. You are a living organism somewhere or the other in this world. You are somebody. I mean, what more would you like to see done in general in Grenada, especially folks for you? I mean, let's spill your thoughts to me this morning.
More I would like to see done. I think the biggest aspect is the attitude of persons. I think once there is a shift in attitudes of how you look at somebody with a disability, that would change a lot, because then if you look at us as individuals, then you would treat us as someone that has rights as everybody else. You would include us in every aspect, whether be it social, in the legislative process, everything that encompasses us as individuals. And in terms of even healthcare, when you see somebody with a disability, the attitude that you have towards them, you would treat us better if you shift that attitude.
I mean, you said you want to see folks change, but how would you like to see individuals going about making those changes? Where does it start from?
I think it starts from the way you speak to us.
Yes.
Because a lot
that
of
first interaction that you get with individuals.
A lot of the times we get stares, we get talked down to. Sometimes they don't even speak to us because they think like, we're just here, we're invisible.
Kind of inferior,
we can't speak.
Something inferior. All right.
All of those things is a start in making that change. And then, the government implementing those policies, but as well as ensuring that when you implement a policy, the follow-through is there.
Yes. No, the mental fallback on that for both of you in life. Tell us about the mental fallback on that for you both. When you're in your alone time, talk to me about that. Jason is laughing.
I'll take that one.
Go ahead.
I'll take that one. For me, mentally, in your alone time, especially if you go out there and people you'll see the attitude, they see the way they will, treat you. At your alone time, you tend to have all sort of crazy thoughts. Yeah. And the most you can do actually is like, for me, I focus on just one thing. And that thing that I'm focusing on is what's going to help me, get through whatever happened or whatever parliament is. It would help me get through that. Just have that positivity on that, that aim, on that one thing.
All right. Let's hear from you, Zinzee. That mental part of it for you.
I think there is strength that comes from certain situations, but I would say at first you might getting to realize how society is, especially if you were shielded from that aspect.
Yeah.
At first it may be a bit depressing, because I can speak for me. When I was growing up, my family treated me like I was a bit normal.
Okay.
And so in my mind, I was just like everybody else, doing the things that I needed to do just like everybody else. Maybe a little bit differently, but anything I set my mind to, I would do it. But then when you come from that shield and you go out into the real world and you realize there is this discrimination there.
That different attitude that comes in the
Yes.
now, you know.
At first it can be a bit depressing, and it takes a while to process and to realize this is not about you as an individual, but this is something that society created because of something they don't fully understand and grasp. So it takes a while, especially if you end up with a disability, like you weren't born with a disability or you were sheltered. At first it may be a bit depressing,
Yeah.
but it builds strength and character the same way.
No, my next question that I want to ask you folks. No, with your situation, there's come a time when the financial part of things becomes a problem. And I see Jason, the financial part of things is an issue. And it's for everybody, even though someone doesn't have a disability and don't have a disability, financial is the. How was that aspect of life for you? Getting a job and doing this thing, which is something that we know in a Grenada society, that is something that is very, very difficult, especially for folks with disability. You know, being accepted at the workplace and all of these things sometimes can be very, very challenging.
Mm-hmm.
How is that for you? How is life? How are you coping with life under those circumstances? Especially the financial aspect, employment and all of these things. But Jason said there are things that he does already that probably creates a level of finance for him. Talk to me about that.
It's difficult. It's very strenuous, and not just that. Being in a wheelchair, for me, I thought it was expensive, and probably just for me, because a lot of things that I needed, the funds was not there to get them.
Yeah.
Until I heard Zinzee and others talk, and I came to say, like, wait a minute, it's not just for me, it's for everybody. Being in a wheelchair, having a disability, a matter of fact, it is expensive, very expensive. And getting a job, well, that's another question, because the time you go for a job, the first thing they don't see the person, they see the wheelchair.
And your ability,
That's right.
They don't see that.
They don't see that. So it's extremely difficult. So therefore, that is the reason why I use my skills, the skills that I have. I did art, and I went on with art. I did books. I did, different number of stuff. And that is how I find, it's difficult.
Zinzee, talk to me about that. How is it for you? The financial aspects of life and everything that flows with it.
Having a disability, as Jason said, is expensive, because there are things that we need that a normal person wouldn't need, and the resources here in Grenada especially is not there. So we would have to get things outside of Grenada, and then converting our money to US, so it's very expensive. And so a lot of the times, things that we may need, we may not get it, or we may get donated stuff, but not everyone has access to those things. And so a lot of the times too, persons you may not even see a lot of persons that has disabilities, because someone may not have a wheelchair to be included in the social aspect of life.
Yeah.
So they may stay at home. And then in terms of jobs, again, the discrimination that is there. I mean, I went to school. Everybody would say, oh, you have to get an education, and when you get an education, you'll get a job, a good job. But that is not the case for persons with disabilities. There's an extra barrier there. Because for me, I have a bachelor's in psychology.
Yeah.
And even before my bachelor's, I had an associate's degree. And applying for jobs it's like no luck. Because from the moment time I enter for an interview, they would see the wheelchair, call me in HR, ask me a bunch of irrelevant questions. Once I got asked if I could use a computer when IT is a subject that I have.
Oh boy.
And I answered a question and then the question was repeated. And I'm like, yes. So you see a lot of things out there that doesn't make sense. But it's something that you just have to deal with as a person with disability. You have to find means and ways to go around that. For me, I haven't gotten any luck in getting a job, so I had to create opportunities for myself in being self-employed. You, as Jason said, using the gifts that you may have. I'm very good in graphic design and very good in speaking, public speaking, and so I use that to my advantage to find some means of income for myself and my daughter that I have.
Okay, you have a daughter?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I want to talk to you in reference now to support. Culturally Disabled, Advocacy Inc., Grenada, and so forth. How is these structures helping you in terms of supported as individuals with disability?
I would say it builds a community because, for example, Advocacy Grenada Inc., how we end up here today is based on we had a psychosocial session and we got to talk about some of the struggles that we are faced with, and we created a group chat after that session to continue conversing. So the support in terms of social and having each other to lean on is really great. Because we get to lean on each other, lift each other up in that sense. So I would say that is a great asset to have. The Council for the Disabled, they do what they can in terms of when we may need assistive devices, wherever they can get donated. So persons that may need wheelchairs, they may try to find that for them and stuff like that. So I would say the national councils that we have has really been a help to assisting us in our day-to-day outings.
Okay. Now, what more would you like to see offered to individuals in Grenada with disability in general? Yes, you spoke about the accessibility and stuff like that. We spoke a lot about that. We still know there's a lot of other people that sometimes don't have the options that maybe you and Jason may have had. You understand? When Jason could do his graphics, you could do your stuff also. Lots of folks just don't have those options. For instance, you were able to grasp an education. Jason may have a grasp education also. There are lots of disabled people who have never had those options. You understand? For some reason, they may have had that family support of wanting to get them to school and stuff like that. We know that has happened to a lot of individuals who were able to have that family support. Say, thank God that was able to be given to them. What more would you like to see for disabled people in society, especially in Grenada too? We're speaking about Grenada, that's where we live. You understand? What more would you like to see, especially from governments and other institutions that have the ability to support you more? What would you like to see?
I would say the biggest thing is data collection. Because
when you say data collection,
in terms of knowing who we are, because as I said, there are persons, you may see me and Jason outside, but there are persons that you don't see outside that you don't know about. And how do you help support persons that you don't even know about? So data collection is important, but as well as training for persons that may not have gotten the education or skills that me and Jason and others may have had the opportunity to get. So training, supporting, helping us get a job also. I think that is very important. I think the government can lead by example, because if persons are seeing you hiring persons with disabilities, then it sends a message to other organizations and businesses.
Yes.
So I think the government really needs to start leading by example in providing the training, in providing even better access to health care. Because as Jason said, when you go to certain health facilities, the accessibility is not there. So how do we access health care when there...
Sometimes priority is not even offered.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not even, I understand. Zinzee, Jason, I mean, there's so much more we could talk about. I think we are just grazing the surface with this conversation, especially with disability in Grenada. I hear other individuals who speak about it. I know of other individuals who are going through a whole lot. And sometimes they prefer to just keep in the background for various reasons, for reasons that sometimes it's too difficult for them to even speak out about. It's really too difficult for them. Anything that you would like to say to our listeners and viewers this morning that you think that will create more awareness for people with disability here in Grenada? Anything you folks want to say? I'm giving you, Jason, the opportunity to go first. I know you're like a TV, tell me.
We are not just, we are not just someone in a wheelchair. We're not someone that you push in the back. Because in society, everyone contributes.
Yeah.
Everyone. And that includes people with disability. We have the ability to contribute just the same. And it's difficult for us to do it with you pushing us behind. We are striving, we are trying to go forward, but it's like you're pushing us behind still. What I ask is that help us, support us. Yes, it's not an easy journey for us, and making it easier, we accept it. We really do accept it.
All right. Zinzee, talk to me.
I would say treat us as individuals. Forget about the device that we may be using. Treat us as individuals. We are amazing human beings. We have a sense of humor.
Yes.
We have personality. We can speak on our own.
Yes.
Well, a lot of us. Just treat us like your friend. Treat us like the ones that you love dear to you. Treat us as I said, individuals, and not just somebody that's in a wheelchair or somebody that's blind or somebody that's deaf. Just treat us as you would a normal human being.
I certainly appreciate that. You two are not the first who may have been advocating for betterment of folk with disability in Grenada. I mean, I'm probably way older than both of you. don't let the grey fool you, madam. But I over the years I have seen a lot of individuals with disability, on different forums speaking and asking for better treatment, more the accessibility that you speak about, being appreciated, being making things more readily available for them and their condition that you all had. And sometimes you get there, they themselves, and you may feel the same way, that it may just fall on their face. But you folks are a new generation, right? A new generation of and the way now information are disseminated is totally different to 20 years and 25 years ago. You have more access to getting things done. In terms of the talents that you have, you see what the benefit that it has derived for you a whole lot, especially with the computers and social media and all of these things. You could be doing your things and no one may know that you have a disability. And they may never thought, well, Jason is doing this graphics of me, or Zinzee is doing this presentation. I may not have known that, you have a disability. But just that you would just like to be treated That's right. Folks, we understand your condition. You understand, but you just want to have that feeling when you come out to do what you're going to do. You are treated as a regular person. And that's it in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it.
I want to thank you both once again. Pleasure having you here. You understand? Probably I'll bring you on my show on a regular. What do you think? Yeah,
No
so you could probably do the good morning a couple of times. Up to management when you're there. So I want to thank you both for coming on the show and sharing your concerns. And we certainly hope that there are individuals out there who are hearing you, who may be able to offer you assistance that they never thought they could go that direction with. You know, sometimes folks don't know what they can do, who have the ability to do things. You understand? And I appreciate you folks taking the time out and come and chat with me this morning. I appreciate that a lot.
Thank you for
I want to wish you all the best, and certainly hope that we see a change in attitude. Because that's one of the key things that you folks are advocating for, a change in attitude towards individuals of your age with your disability.
Yeah.
So thank you once again for popping by.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, folks, that's where we're going to take a wrap for today's edition of the Mid-Morning Buzz. Join me again in the next 30 minutes. We do have another guest popping by. Stay with us here, Classic Radio, GBN TV. So we say goodbye. Have a good one, folks.